Hey, welcome to How to Match Colors with Oil Pastels. This will build off of your skills that we learned in just basically mixing colors just basically on the color wheel with oil pastels. Now we're going to learn how to match colors, which is an important skill, and this is going to have a few steps involved. Now, the reason I talk about matching colors is because sometimes we're drawing something, we're recreating something. I'm just using a food magazine here, and we see a color that we want to create and capture, or that we really like, or that we want to make, whatever our drawing is, we want to make it look realistic, so we want to match our colors really well. And so, like, say I like that color right there. I'm going to show you how to match it exactly, okay? Or practically exactly. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to identify your hue on the wheel, on your color wheel that you're trying to match. Okay, so I have a little color wheel here to help me. Then you have to identify if the hue is dull or darkened, and if it is, you got to use its complementary color. Then you're going to identify if that hue that you're trying to capture is a tint, which is a color with some white, if it's a shade and it's a color with some black, or if it's a tone, which is a color mixed with gray. Then you're actually going to start mixing, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, this is a lot of steps that I'm throwing at you, or a lot of specifications. It'll make sense once we actually start trying to do this. So take this away, and I'm going to come back to that color that I talked about wanting to match, okay? So my first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the hue on the color wheel. Now, right away I can see that this color right here, this hue, is a bluish green. So that was step one, identify the hue. Then I have to identify if the hue is dull or darkened, okay? And if it is, I got to use the complementary color. This is not a bright blue-green. This definitely is dulled down a little. So that means blue-green, I'm going to be dulling it down with a little bit of red-orange. Okay, next is I have to determine if this is a tint or a shade or a tone, and right now it definitely doesn't look like it has any black added to it. I'm thinking it has either a little bit of white or a little bit of gray, so I can try either one. Okay, now I'm going to start mixing my colors, and I'll start with the complementary color. So I know I'm making blue-green, I'll get out my blue and my green, but we said that it is dull, so I have to use some red-orange. Okay, so I'm going to put down a little bit of red-orange first. Okay. I always like to go dark to light, so I put the red first before the orange. And then I'm going to come in with my blue-green on top. And you might be like, oh my god, what is she making? She's making black. What is this? But oil pastels mix beautifully together on paper. So, get the green in there. And again, it looks like it's not much coming together, but I do believe once we add the white, because this is white, I think it's a tint of blue-green. Here we go. And there you go, I think I did it. Check that out, okay? And what's really cool, if we take a closer look, is that, yes, I have blue-green, but I still have little specks of those other colors shining through. Okay, I'm going to do this 2 more times so you believe me in how to do this and you really see how to match your colors. Okay, I found another page that I really like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the color on the wheel. I think this is red, okay? Almost looks a little red, but I think it's red, and I think it's just a darkened, dulled red, so I'm going to have to use some green. And then the next step was to see, hey, is it a tint, a tone, or a shade? It's definitely not looking pink. I don't think I need to add any white to it. I actually think it's a shade. I do think it needs a little bit of black. You gotta be careful with black because black tends to suck the color and the life out of colors. So I'm gonna be careful with that. Okay, so I know it's red. I know it's darker and dulled down, so it needs some green, and I do think it needs a touch of black. So we'll start with the darkest color first, which is black. Okay, just a touch, just like that, see? Just like lightly brushing the page. I do think I need some green in there. Okay, and I'm going to come in with some red. Okay, and I think it got a little dark on that side, but somewhere in the middle, it's kind of matching some of those spots. Let me try that again. So just slight, oop. There we go, just the slightest hint of black bit of green. Okay, and then magic red. There we go. That seems good. Okay. Now the next one, the last one we're going to do is going to throw you off a little bit because I want to do like the top of this flan. Oh, it looks good. I'm going to get hungry. Now, automatically when you see this, your brain probably goes, oh, I know what it is. It's brown, right? And that's my brown oil pastel. That does not match. Okay, so we have to get out of that way of thinking of just assuming the color right away. So again, I'm going to identify the hue on the color wheel, and my mind is taking me to yellow-orange. Okay, it is a darkened, dulled version of yellow-orange. I can see that. So that means I'm going to need blue-violet. And we'll see if it needs, it's definitely not a shade. It might need a little bit of a tone. It might need, tint. It might need a little bit of white. So I said it's yellow-orange. And then I'm going to need my blue and my red because I have to make blue-violet. And these oil pastels, unfortunately, don't come with violet. I have to make it myself. So start with the complementary color first. So blue. And then a little bit of red to make that blue-violet. Okay. And doesn't look great right now, but remember these come together and then mix on the page. Then I'll come in with, all right, there, I'm already getting closer. And now I'm going to come in with my yellow. And I'll work back and forth a little bit, maybe a little bit more orange. There we go. And a little bit more yellow. And I think that we captured it. Look at that. That's cool. Looks like the top of it. And again, if you look closer to it, artists love this. We have these colors come together to form that one kind of caramelly color right there. But when you look closer, you have all these other colors shining through. So that's it. That's how to match colors with oil pastel. Hope you liked it. Have fun.